How you guys feel about team-oriented games? It's usually about a hit or miss depending on who the player is. A lot of gamers these days like to do lone wolf stuff, and they don't necessarily like playing something they can't play by themselves. If you guys do enjoy these types of games, these types of, team-oriented games where it strongly encourages you to get your own squad and to go in there, with your own people, this might be the game for you. The game's called Bleeding Edge. It's a 4v4 brawler made by Ninja Theory and published by Microsoft. First thing I want to say is this game's extremely team oriented. So unless you want to lose a bunch of games, go in there as a team. Xbox has an LFG app that works phenomenal. I played with it 3 or 4 nights in a row. You can easily go in there and find a team with the tools that Microsoft has gave you. So you have no excuse not to at least try this game with a team, because if you go and play this with straight randoms with no communication, you're gonna have a very bad time. The game comes with 2 game modes. It comes with, pretty much your capture the point game mode, where you have to keep the points and kill enemies, and it will add more points to your overall score. And the first one, you get to 600 wins. Now, what I really enjoy about this particular mode on this game is all 3 objectives on the map don't necessarily open at the same time. Sometimes 1 will open, sometimes 2, and then sometimes all 3. So they really make you decide as a team what is the most strategic way to outthink your opponent. Sometimes you want to get B while they get C and everyone fights for A, or sometimes you want to get C while they get A and everyone fights for B, which typically seem like what would generally happen. The majority of the fights usually went in the middle of the map, whatever that point was, and most of the time I believe it was B. Now, when it comes to the second game mode, it's the weird game mode. Now, on the map, there'll be these boxes that spawn. Now, when you find these boxes and kill them, there'll be these canisters that come out of the boxes. Now, the boxes weren't really that strong. You can kill them pretty quickly, pretty swiftly. But the interesting thing is when you picked up the canisters, if you died, you dropped them. So that is for you, that's for your team, that's for the enemy team. So if you actually had these on you when you die, they will drop, and sometimes you can have up to like 10 to 15 and you'll drop all of them. And what I've really enjoyed about this is it gave this game mode a huge competitive feeling, because you always had to keep in mind on where, stuff's going down, where they're spawning, where the canisters are, how many people had the canisters. And what's really nice is besides your name on the map, it tells you how many you have. That goes for your enemies too, because they know exactly how many you have, and they're going to make it their life goal to make sure you don't deposit all of them. Now, I used to hate this game mode when this game first dropped, when I first played the beta, but the more I played it, the more I actually really enjoyed it. I feel like this is the most competitive game mode, and if this goes anywhere in the competitive scene, this will be the one it does it with. I think it's interesting that they penalize you dropping the canisters and your enemy can pick them up. I think it's interesting that if you get hit while you're depositing, it stops it. So they encourage you to use, projectiles and stuff like that to stop your enemy from, depositing their canisters, because you can actually not collect it all. You don't have to kill those boxes to get the canisters. You just got to go where the deposit phase is. And if your team's good enough at attacking you, you're going to win every time. Obviously, this is a hero game, so it's going to have heroes. But if you look at the screen, they don't look like heroes at all. They kind of look like anti-heroes. So let's go over them. First thing you have is the DPSs. The first DPS we have is Damon. And that's probably the only name you're going to get out of me of this entire set of heroes. Damon has a sword. You can go invisible. That's pretty much all you need to know. Gizmo has a Gatling gun. Now what she can do, she can put down these little mini guns, and she got a Gatling gun. So there you go. You got Nizgarg, or whatever his name is, dude with the guitar. He has the ability to throw fire on you, and he could stun you. Then you got May. She could put you in cages, and she could drain the energy out of you. Then you got the chick that runs fast. Now, when it comes to support, there's not a whole lot of options. You got the chick with the staff. Now what she does is she can put a bubble down like in Halo, and she can heal people that staggers to another person, heals them. I think it's half as much as it healed the first person. Then you got the snake dude. Now what he does is he puts an AoE of shield, of health, And then you got Zero Cool, which he's probably the Mercy of Overwatch, where he can heal people the best, but he can only heal one person at a time. Then you got your old-fashioned tanks. You got some dude with 2 cleavers that every time he hits someone, he gets a shield. Probably the best tank in the game. You got Buttercup. Buttercup has the ability to pull you with her with a chain. And she's a good tank as well. And then you got the dude with the Samoan dude. I didn't really use him that much. I think he needs to be reworked. All these heroes are unique, and I felt like all of them were decently well balanced by the time I make this review. There were a couple that I don't feel like have any place in it. Now, the chick with the staff, the support, I don't necessarily think she's bad. I did play as her. I just don't think she's a good primary support unit. That might just be me. I don't think the Sumo's that good either. I think he needs to be reworked entirely as well. There were a couple abilities that didn't make sense to me either. The chick that really runs fast, she has an ability where she can throw these daggers and she jumps backwards. I think that needs to be reworked, where she just jumps up, because sometimes she feels useless. For the most part, these heroes were fine. I had no issues with these heroes. They all worked efficiently well, and none of them really had any real bad, times where I was just like, man, this hero sucks. Now, the Samoan, that's arguably, maybe he's the only character that really has no place in this game, but that's neither here or there, because I definitely got killed by that Samoan dude. There are people that can use him, so I can't really, speak for them. Now, as far as maps, there's not a lot of maps. I think there's only like 4, maybe 5 maps. That's the biggest thing I can really tell you guys. This game needs more content. This game really needs to focus on content. And it's kind of ridiculous this game came out with this amount of content from the start. This game should have jumped with 20 characters, maybe 10 maps. I don't really know why it came out with this less content. Now, in terms of gameplay, I enjoy it. The gameplay is amazing. I haven't had this much fun playing a multiplayer in a while, but the content is definitely lacking. Do I think that the content that they currently have is worth $30? Debatable. Depends on how kind of gamer you are. If you really like team-oriented games and you got the people to play this, maybe it's worth that $30. But if you have Game Pass, it's also on there too. It's a Microsoft first-person party game, so obviously they're all going to be there day and day. Look, if you guys want to give it a try, I'd Game Pass it. If you've never got Game Pass, I'm pretty sure you can get it for $1. See how you like it. Is this game for everybody? No. This game is definitely not for everybody. It's not a very casualized game at all. There are some casualized aspects of the game, but the overall gameplay is not casualized. So you will not have fun if you expect to go in here and do everything by yourself and hit everyone 2 or 3 times and they die. Play your role. Everyone that plays this game, if you pick a support, DPS, or tank, play your role. If you play DPS, your role is to kill the other enemy. Your role is to single out their support and kill them. If you play support, your role is to keep your team alive. And if you play tank, your role is to keep people off of you. The good thing about this game is when you hit a couple people, they actually have a recoil. They fall down. It's, especially with tanks, makes it really easy. You can go in there and hit the entire team once or twice and they fall down and they have to get back up. Now, they can get back up fast, but that does matter because you can get people off your support if you're the tank. So, that's pretty much it. I do think this game's worth the $30 if you enjoy team-oriented games, but I would just get it off Game Pass, because if you're not on Game Pass, I don't know what you're doing. Game Pass is an extremely good value, and you can get a lot of decent games every year on Game Pass for the price of $10 a month or $15 for Ultimate if you want it on PC as well. But this is Gaming Addict. Tell me what you guys think about Bleeding Edge. Was there any characters you thought was useless? Put it in that comment section below. Until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.